Even when giant jobs loom ahead of me, and I even literally am wading through the work I have to do, I have to remember the beauty every day.
Touch them, Brighton. Put them down right now.
Beautiful.
They're moldy blitz.
You're so dirty.
I know. No, I washed them.
Go with your brothers and sisters.
Okay.
And stop and smell the roses. Even when the garden's overgrown, the weeds have taken over much of it, and 3/4 of it is now dead for the winter. And the deer have gotten in the Swiss chard. I have to be thankful for the harvest I still have, and for the new plants that are doing so well, that'll feed us through the winter. It's a beautiful evening on our homestead out here. I'm Art from the Art and Bree channel. We bought this place 5 years ago. We've been vlogging about it on YouTube for 4 years. And even though sometimes things are in chaos and our house is full of mold and we're working on renovating it, it's evenings like this, incredibly beautiful fall evenings, that I stop to smell the roses. And I stop and look around at the amount of resilience that we have built out here, and at the life that our kids have. And I just stop and say, this is beautiful, and I am so thankful for it. There's Ferdinand, our bull. And I'm hearing subtleties of, I think he's a little hungry, but I'm about to throw him their evening hay. Even when you look at things that we built out here from a resiliency perspective, thinking about if things went really bad in society right now, like what we actually have in the form of grass, hay, animals on the hoof, and enough salt to actually put up the majority of the meat in our freezers without freezers, like we would do as well as anyone that I know. And that's just a small thing. I don't think about that every day. We're really rich, honestly, in what we have out here, in real down-to-earth, feet-on-the-ground resources. I mean, even though the garden's like this, we have enough seed to replant it next spring, and there's a ton of greens in here that would get us fresh food through the winter. There you go. The garden's still giving.
I know, and it will.
We had a good garden harvest this year overall.
It was amazing. I feel really good about it.
I think we should make a whole video just about that.
Yeah, I wrote down as much as I could remember. I mean, some stuff we can't measure, like greens, but can't measure it in pounds. But I could tell you how many times a week we eat them, and for how many months we've been eating them fresh from the garden.
Yeah.
The greens and lettuce and stuff. This is the best Swiss chard I've ever grown.
I'm going to tell you some unfortunate news. The deer have eaten some of it.
You gotta lock that garden gate.
I know.
They just walk right in there. How much of it have they eaten?
A lot.
I was like, I don't have to buy Swiss chard all winter.
But this is a positive video. They haven't eaten any of the little stuff. They just knocked a lot of
the little stuff's not gonna get very big.
The little kale looks amazing. Is that your favorite way to eat Swiss chard?
No.
What's your favorite way to eat Swiss chard?
Like finely chopped raw in a salad.
Oh, really?
I love that.
Is that your second favorite way to eat Swiss chard?
Yeah. Just big old bunches of it. Not even mixed in with meat or anything. I just love it. It's so tender and it's so much sweeter than kale. I like it a lot better. You know what I love about having greens in the garden?
What?
You know, like when you buy greens from the store, like you end up forgetting about them, you don't use them in time, they go bad. But when they're in the garden, you're just like, oh, I want greens. You just go get them, and they're fine. They're always perfectly fresh. It's the best part. Other than that, they just taste better. But like your greens never go bad. So you cut them and they grow back. You cut them and they grow back. I mean, they're just like this beautiful, endless, you just get endless amount of food from that one little plant, that one seed. You just get food after food after food. It's not like you just harvest it once and it's done. If you care for it properly, it'll last into the winter. It's just, to me, greens are the perfect food. If I had to grow one thing, it would be greens and lettuces. I know that's more than one thing, but you get what I'm saying. Like that kind of plant.
How long will supper be? Just
Very
a few
soon.
minutes, right?
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I fed them too.
Oh.
I'm not gonna feed them this evening if they got fed twice. Hey guys, it's time to come do your evening chores and clean up where you were playing here by the camper. It's almost supper time.
That's good.
One of the cool things about being out here and doing what we do is just getting to know the host of animals that have come through our land. I've enjoyed having him here immensely, but actually he's gonna leave soon. We're gonna sell him. Alice is sticking around. And then this guy who we actually adopted, well, we didn't adopt him, she adopted him. We brought him on so that we'd have 2 calves nursing on the cow, so that when we didn't milk, she would always stay empty. And the goats, there's so many goat stories, but it's just a real pleasure, honestly, to work with these animals, even if we're gonna eat them. Like this guy, we're gonna beef him and eat him. I really like him and I like having him around, and I've enjoyed getting to know him. And we nursed him back to health. Well, the cow nursed him back to health, but we supervised. It's really one of the big pleasures about being out here is getting to know not only all these different individual animals, but getting to know different breeds of animals. I didn't grow up working with cows, not at all. Goats the same. And then there's the pigs. The pigs are hungry. You guys are hungry, but you're not getting another meal. You already ate 2 big meals today. I fed the pigs this morning, and then Grace thought that they weren't fed. I had left at that point, so Grace fed the pigs also. But that's how they always act. They always act hungry. And of course, there's the pleasure of raising these munchkins out here. It's not like you have to live on a homestead to learn this stuff, but here's an example. This is Grace's sourdough bread that she just started out of the blue, and now she's making her first batch.
Yeah, she read it in a magazine how to catch wild yeast and start your own starter. So now she's testing it out to make bread for tomorrow for a potluck. I'm really proud of her. I am so proud of her about this because I don't even make sourdough. I know nothing about sourdough. And yeah, my daughter reads a magazine article and just goes for it. So I'm just excited. Right now I'm gonna save her bread from the little buffalo on the kitchen table. If I can put it down somewhere. You know what? Maybe I can put it over here. I love it when he gets his head that he's a certain animal.
It happens all the time.
And he switches.
He rotates animals' favorites.
But like one that he just like sticks with. I mean, he'll be any animal, but one he sticks with.
Cows, buffalo, bear,
Duck. And you'll be like,
Deuce. Oh, he was a puppy for a couple weeks.
oh yeah.
puppy. You'll be like, I'll be like, hey, what are you doing? And he'll just look at me and go.
He's so
like he's chewing his cud.
I'm a buffalo.
And we went on our hike yesterday. We drove past a pasture full of Highland cattle, and he said, "There are buffaloes in that pasture." I was like, "Yes, there were." I didn't even correct him. He said, "We go see those buffaloes." I was like, "We gotta go, buddy. We gotta keep going."
Maybe we can get some.
I don't mind if people see you put your butternut squash in the oven.
That's not what I was saying.
You swear? You worried about them seeing your butternut squash?
Ah!
Cover up those butternut squash.
Don't look at my squash. Don't look at my butternut.
Sometimes I just forget to be thankful for what we actually have and have built. And so it's evenings like this that it's kind of between things. So I didn't really have anything that I didn't have time to do anything. So I just like sat out in the yard and looked at the grading I needed to do in the house. And I was just looking around and thinking, what's he saying?
I got a butterfly? I don't think so. You got a butterfly.
it's just evenings like these when I remember all the things that we've built out here that are really encouraging, and just looking around and seeing it all, because sometimes we're too busy to notice, but we really have built a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I think for me, it's like when I go to somebody else's farm, I'm like, wow, it looks so amazing. You're doing such a good job. And I get back to mine and I'm like, all I see is all the the things that need to be done, and the things I want done, and the things I dream of doing. You know what I mean? You just see the work. I hear everybody say this. So I love those moments when I'm just enjoying it instead of working it, you know? And you're just like, yeah, this is so good.
I just think we need to remember to celebrate our accomplishments, like as they come, and also look
Yeah.
back, because there's a lot to celebrate.
We need more celebrating in our
I
life.
agree with that. I was talking about that to my sister today.
Well, we're gonna celebrate tonight. Steak, Swiss chard, butternut squash. It's gonna be good.
Sounds great.